going on? It's the Ceremonial Witch here, back for another episode. Except we're not on the Ceremonial Witch show. No, we're on the MOB, Money Over Bitches. No, that's not true. It's Magic on a Budget. It looks like MOAB, but anyway. Yeah, so I decided to make myself a second channel here. This is going to be my intro to it. Talk about what I'm going to talk about. See how people want to tune in or not. Before I do that, the next episode of Ceremonial Witchcraft will be, hey baby, have fun, be careful on that trampoline. The next episode is going to be of how I programmed my subconscious to be the name of my magical name and why that's important and how it serves as protection and a whole bunch of other cool things that comes along with doing that and how I did that. So, the next question you might have is, well, why am I making a second channel? Why don't I talk about all this on ceremonial magic? You know what, I guess I could have, but I don't want to separate you. I want ceremonial magic to be about the magic, the procedures, the shit I did, and the results I got, and I want this one to be about how I get and talk and get my wife to understand why I need all these different colors of candles and all these different kinds of incense, why I pay so much money for frankincense oil, and why I do try to make some of my own oils, and why I have so many crystals, and all those things that, you know, if you have a wife, girlfriend, significant other that doesn't practice magic or the occult. Sorry, my daughter wants to play with the thing I'm recording on. If they don't practice the occult, how to get them to understand how and why you are buying and using all these things, and, you know, how for them to not think you're evil or weird or going crazy and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I want to talk about. And with that comes, you know, you may not be able to spend your extra money on candles and shit like that. You may not get to spend your extra money on incenses and oils and altar tools and shit like that. So then come with that is to make your own, basically, you know, or call the essence of certain things that you can't find or get into your spell works and stuff like that. So how to use magic, basically, with all the right stuff without being able to afford the right stuff. How to put your essence in your ritual work without spending a fuckload of money. Now understand, none of it's going to be cheap. It can't be cheap. It can't be priceless either. You know, you are going to have to pay for some stuff. Because even to make stuff, you may have to buy stuff. But for the most part, I'm a pretty fucking crafty person. And I can pretty much make anything. Oh, it's not always going to be nice or pretty, but it's going to be to specification, and it's gonna do what it's supposed to do, basically. So that is what this channel is going to be about. And my little dog in the background here that I just talk about so much. The reason I got to stay home, one of my $10,000 manifestations was because of her, actually. Well, not because of her. I did the magic, and she was the path of least resistance that the government decided we needed 10G and used her to bring it to me. So I am so grateful to her for that. 100%. But yeah, so this channel, this new episode, this new broadcast on Spreaker by the Ceremonial Witch, which is me, Corey LeBlanc, is going to be about this kind of stuff. How to have the right mindset, how to have the right mindset towards people, how to have the right attitude, how to still be in the mundane world and still be in the magic world and have magic work for you efficiently, effectively. But I mean, I don't have the all-knowing answer to every question. And my way may not necessarily be someone else.
To see a marching band, he said, son, when you grow up, would you be the same? To lead you in the summer, to join the Black Parade.
Hey, what's going on? Sorry about that. I had to bring my daughter in, and for nap time there, she was getting a little crazy, so I just cut to a song. But I want to talk about where I was going with the whole Dolores Cannon and Edgar Cayce thing. I mean, I'm pretty sure I hinted at it. You understood. But anyway, so hypnosis is magic, magic is hypnosis, and the only thing I want to say about that is in hypnosis you get into a trance and someone puts triggers in you if you ask them to get rid of a habit or whatnot, or past life regression is kind of the same. It's hypnosis and all that, and I'm just trying to give you another point of view. I'm not going to say it is or it isn't magic. I mean, you can't really do magic without being in a trance-like state or being relaxed and all that, and it's connecting your two minds is what it is. So magic and hypnosis aren't the same, but they go hand in hand. That's what Frater also says. Poke Carol Runyon's OTO, one of the founders or guy who runs the show now. I forget what his title is, but he's super important. He's got a lot of good shit on YouTube. You should watch it about Inoki and the tablets and Goetia, 72 demons, King Solomon, all that shit. But yeah, the point I was hitting was, Dolores Cannon was the hypnotherapist versus Edgar Cayce was, giving people readings, and he was the one going into trance. He was basically hypnotizing himself. I mean, he got hit by a car or something like that, and people say he was never the same after that. So who knows if that's true or not? It might be the premise, that it's the premise that every fucking superhero movie, or most of them, are founded on. If they're not born from another planet or born with the powers, generally something happens for them to get the powers. But anyways, his father was trying to get him to study a book one night or something for school, and this is Edgar Casey, and he was just not getting it. And he asked his dad, "Give him 15 minutes, and I'll go in the other room. I'll sleep on the book, and I'll come back, and we'll try it that way." And for some reason, his dad went for that. And you can look this up. This is part of his story. I can't tell you if it's real or not, but I can tell you it's a story, and I tend to believe it. But once again, I always have one foot in, one foot out. Maybe it's the Pisces. Anyways, after that, his dad said, "You ready? The few pages there?" He's like, "Dad, I know the whole book." I don't know if he was cocky like that, but he literally laid his head on the book. And Birch talks about doing that, and when he did that with King Solomon, or the Lesser Key of Solomon, did he know everything like Edward Casey did? Not exactly, but he did have a different, better, and perspective and understanding of it after doing that. And, unfortunately, all my books are on my fucking phone, and I don't like to sleep on my phone because of, Wi-Fi and radiation and all that. But I'll put a book on to go to sleep, like I said, so it goes right into the subconscious mind. And that's kind of what I was talking about, but the subconscious mind sees all. But the other point I was getting at was, there's two versions of kind of the same thing. Edward Casey, Dolores Cannon. Dolores Cannon is putting different people under, talking to the same spirits, basically. Because they would know her, you're back again. And after they would do whatever she was asking them to do for that specific person, they would give her extra information, which she's compiled all her books from. And Edgar Casey was the one going into trance, but always talking to different people, but to the same spirits through those people. Like they literally told him that he could live, I forget till what, but it was above the age of 100 if he only did maybe six readings a day, and he was still doing, I don't know, I think it was above 15 or something like that. I can't remember the exact number, and so he burnt himself out or whatever. He was also a smoker too. They told him he could still smoke, but I think it was something like 6 to 8 cigarettes a day, where I think he might have been a pack or two a day. So something to think about. But yeah, so the two shows, the Ceremonial Witchcraft, is going to be for your subconscious mind, and this show is going to be for your conscious mind. But it's both going to be about magic, so if you're listening to it, and if I'm part of your programming or reprogramming process of your mind, like I've hinted and not so subtly told everybody to do, listen to all things magic in their spare time when they're doing their mundane stuff. If your wife's talking to you and you're on date night, don't fucking put my shit on, or a book on, or fucking Birch or Frater, or the fucking Kabbalion, the Kabbalion, or something like that. Or start talking to your date or your wife or your girlfriend or your kids about magic whenever, you don't see your kids every second weekend or something like that, and you're going to, no, don't do that, spend time with your children. But if you're doing the dishes and doing the grass and all that, listen to some music maybe at first to get you in the mood and all that, because Slim's putting magic first thing on the morning is a little much to take right off the hop. I generally listen to a few songs before I start the magic, not always, but I do, and I try to stick to good songs, and by that I mean in line with what I'm manifesting. I'm not going to put on something about, I'm not going to put on one of the songs I played was Papa Roach, between insects, difference between angels and insects or something like that. And it's all about there's no money, anyways, it's all about how money possessions own you and stuff like that, you know what I mean? I'm not going to listen to that if I'm trying to manifest money. I will put on, something like High Hopes, that is in line with having a vision and getting it, going from nothing to something, or things like that, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, these are going to be for your two minds. And this one is, like I said, it's going to be primarily about the right mindset to have for magic. Because your conscious mind is what you're aware of, right? Your subconscious mind, you have to program what you want into it, but you're really not aware of what's going on in there. Now, that's the hope. That's the pipeline. That's the dream. That's when you're in magic and all that. I mean, when you first get into it, it's probably too for desperate reasons, or you're just rich and bored, or whatever. I don't know what the case is for you, but most people wanted money, sex, or power, or something like that. So they get into magic. But you generally come to find that you start self-transforming, and you don't want those things, or you do get those things and it's not fulfilling, and you don't get the happiness. So, well, I need to know more magic. I want to know more. How deep can I go? And oh man, I just lost my fucking train of thought again. Son of a bitch. Getting worse and worse as I go. Sorry, my dog was doing something funny. I looked at it for a second and I lost it all. But anyways, you want to effectively put something in your subconscious mind. We don't get to control our subconscious mind. The way we get to control our subconscious mind is by taking it back, by putting what we want in it. Your subconscious mind is something that runs by itself, but it's going to do what it sees. It's going to act, it's going to bring stuff to you that it sees all the time, that it thinks you want, and it doesn't understand the don'ts and all that, like I've already said. So you want to put only in what you want to see. So if you're showing your subconscious mind that your world is full of poverty and disease and death and bad situations and drama and gossip, well, then that's what's going to come into your life. If that's all you're spitting out, that's what you're regurgitating and saying and doing about other people, then that's going to happen to you through your circumstances. Your subconscious mind, I don't know how it picks and chooses. I don't know all those aspects of it, but I do know of what you say goes and affects whoever you said it about or whatever you're talking about, and then it ends up coming back to you. Your thoughts always come back around to you, and then from there, you might think this is unfair that this just happened to me, but you forgot about 2 weeks ago you were just shit-talking somebody. So, and then you start doing it again, and it's this terrible circle. So what we're trying to do, or what I'm trying to accomplish here, is to get people to do the opposite, to start uplifting people, and don't judge people, take them for what they are, understand that that person is the way you were before you started your initiation, and to try to go in their point of view and see things from their eyes. And if you can't do that, at the very least, no reaction, no comment is sometimes better than trying to uplift people and get them pissed off at you, or worse, bringing them down even lower. You can say tough love, but I don't know. Tough love has its place, but not when it comes to this shit. You're just gonna get people to hate on you all the time. Sometimes it works, But anyways, getting off topic once again. So these are for both your minds. I'm going to talk about something there in a second that, is or isn't part of what I want to talk about on this channel, but I'm just going to get it out of the way, get it done, let's get it over with, kill the rest of the time, that we have on this channel. But, all right, well, in the magical community, okay, we've got a lot of different things, we might not always get along with each other, and we might make fun of other factions, and make videos just about what we shouldn't do that other people promote and all that. And I don't want to be like that, because I don't believe in doing that. But I do want to address this whole always being positive and trying to never be negative thing that goes around and is very prevalent and very misused in the magical communities, from the New Age and all that. And I mean, I'm guilty of it. When I was New Age, when I was working on that first manifestation I told everybody about, and how I did it, I just lost my job. I just lost my job, and I got the 10 grand, and I was happy. I knew everything was going to be okay because I just performed what I wanted, So to me, the sky was the limit. Yeah, okay, I got 2 things out of the 4 I asked for. I got to stay home with my daughter, and I got the 10 grand. I didn't get the car yet or the house, but those 2 things did come. You guys all know that. But at the time, I only got the 2. So I figured, everything was going to work out. Either I only got half of it now, and the other 2 were coming later, or I was only getting 2 out of 4 because, I asked for too much, or wasn't specific, or whatever. I wasn't very well versed. I mean, I'm still not that well versed. There's still a lot of things that I don't understand when they happen, and you won't hear me talk about it, or if I do, I'll say I don't understand. But It was a Saturday, and at this point, my wife was trying to justify and was going through my 10 grand pretty fast, using it on renovations in the house. And, I was all about positivity and being positive and trying to tell her to not worry about money because if you worry, then you're going to focus in on that, and that's what we're going to have more of. And, since she takes care of most of the bills and stuff like that with our pays, I don't want the one who handles the money worrying about money and fucking up our money situation. So I was very nicely, politely, and subtly talking about that. Now, I wasn't into magic yet. Like I said, I was just new age. And she was setting up interviews left, right, and center for me and trying to get me back to work. At the same time, she was worrying about money, but at the same time, she was booking all these renos and basically had all my 10 grand chewed up in a month. Which she did. Well, maybe it was more like 2 months, but she chewed it up pretty fucking fast. But, I was pretty upset about that, but I wasn't saying anything. I was trying to remain positive. So, instead of dealing with it and getting back to positivity, which is what you probably should do, I was trying to stay positive and just burying those feelings, trying to put them aside and whatever, the best of my ability without getting upset. And one day, it was a Saturday, and out of nowhere, she decides to go do overtime on this Saturday that she had an appointment booked for me. And we woke up at 8 o'clock or something like that. So she was going in from 8:30 to 12:30. And I had to call my mom, see if I can get a hold of her to get her to babysit my daughter. I had to shave, I had to shower, I had to get ready, bring her to my mom's, and then go to this interview where I didn't even know where I was going really. So I'm already upset because I don't want to do this. And then she's going to work because she wants to make money just so she can spend more money. I'm like, well, if you just don't spend the money, then you don't have to make more money. It's as simple. She doesn't see it that way. And we're polar opposites in that sense. She believes in making a lot of money so she can spend a lot of money. I believe in just not spending the money so you can enjoy life. You got a little bit and you only need a little bit. But anyways, I'm getting more mad and mad as it's going along, getting ready. The baby's getting cranky because, anyways, she's getting cranky. So as I start getting more mad, more negative fucking things are coming into my head over and over and over again, just pissing me off. I'm getting so much mad at my wife to the point where, I'm in this negative vibe and I'm in a bad place. I'm angry. I broke a fucking mirror, punched a hole in my fucking wall. Like, real fucking bounce was I. Let me tell you. And so I already left a message at my mom's. She never answered, so that kind of threw me off again. But at the same time, I was kind of happy because, well, fuck it, then I don't have to go. I just end up putting the baby, because she was young at this time, I put her in her playpen, which she couldn't get out of. I put on Boo York, because there's a lot of song in that Monster High movie, and my baby loves music. And I come outside, I take off my fucking socks, and I put my feet on the fucking ground, because I just learned about grounding at that point. And so I didn't take my socks off. This is fucking winter. I forgot about that. I was cold as fuck. Put my feet on the snow where my grass should have been. Yeah, it was fucking cold. And, maybe that's why I was getting so upset and had trouble letting things go, because I went from grounding all the time to not grounding. I was just learning about it. But anyways, besides the point. I go outside and, I'm still in a negative place and I'm fucking hoping that we go broke and we lose the house and teach her a fucking lesson and all this and that. And then, I caught myself kind of thinking about how that would play out in my head. It's like, oh man, what am I doing? This is what I'm supposed to be doing to make stuff happen. Like, it kind of clicked that I was doing the opposite and all that. And I've already studied a lot of attraction, saying, that's what happens, that's how it works and all that. So I stop and I start visualizing my wife understanding, stop spending the money so fast. I started visualizing her getting the magic, but I couldn't even visualize that. But I visualized her understanding and, letting it go, trying not to spend so much money, postponing some of the renovations and all that. And then I ended up calling my mom and telling her I didn't need her. I don't know if she heard my message or not, but I didn't need her. And then I texted my wife. I didn't even want to call her. I texted my wife. And I said I canceled the appointment, which, I didn't. I just didn't even show up, which wasn't very nice of me. But the guy was understanding when I did talk to him. And you know what? I don't know if she was mad or not. She texted me back. She didn't even text me an okay or nothing. But when she came home, and I'm not lying about this. I wouldn't lie to you guys. I don't know you, but I wouldn't lie to you because I don't believe in that. Because that's just going to come back to bite me in the ass. But she came home and she apologized. She understood that, well, she has a different point of view than me, but she knows that, I just got fired from a job from 6 years and, that I might be having some kind of shock or in some kind of denial, and it wasn't fair for her to try to rush me into working and, that we didn't need those renovations done right away. She just gets very excited with renovations, and she does. I mean, my wife, if there's something she wants done and she gets her heart set on it, I mean, she's going to fucking do it. I don't know. Besides using magic or listening to me, what I have to say about how to manifest things, she'll do everything else in her power. I mean, she'll go take out 3 different loans if it means she gets to do what she wants. And, I mean, that's not always good, but I gotta like that fucking initiative. But anyway, so yeah, it worked. And and that's kind of what I want to talk about, because everybody talks about negativity and you can't be in a negative or low vibration and this and that. But what I want to say is, first I want to say what you first should do is, if you are in the negative vibration, yes, you don't want to be in there, because if you start thinking about bad things, they're going to happen. But you also don't want to be in a negative vibration over, a fight with your wife, and then you pictured you leaving her, or you doing something stupid, or if you're worrying about your debt and all that, and you're picturing your debt. You don't want to be like, you know what, fuck this, I want to be happy, I don't care if I lose everything, and you start trying to channel or get in touch with these happy feelings and getting yourself happy again, but yet your mind is still thinking about the bad shit, because that's the same thing. Your love vibration, your love emotion, if you're thinking about something bad, you're going to make that bad thing happen. Likewise, if you're in a bad vibration or emotion, but you're thinking about something good, or at least trying to, you're going to make that happen, which is what I did, because I wasn't in a happy state. I was in such a mad state. I was in such a pissed off state, such an angry state, that I somehow visualized her understanding. You know what I mean? And it did eventually make me happier. I went in the house in a good mood. I made lunch, I played with the baby, I just forgot about everything, let it all go. And then bam, she came around. She actually came home and apologized and said all that. It wasn't exactly how I pictured it, but, it was pretty darn close. And it was pretty fucking cool. So, if you can't banish those negative thoughts and then just not think about anything, because if you're thinking about things, bad things, you're not necessarily bringing them to fruition unless you put the emotion into it. All right? You have to have that emotion into it for it to really happen. There is something to say about affirmations and absolute faith and all that. Saying an affirmation enough gets to your subconscious mind. You don't necessarily need emotion to do that. It's through repetition. So yeah, if you think about something often enough as repetition, then yeah. So that's why you banish those thoughts and all that. So it's a protection against that. But if you're just thinking about bad things and, I remove that thought, I replace that thought, there's no need to that. But if you're in a bad state and you're having trouble getting out of it, and you don't want to fuck anything up, now then, while you're in that bad state, think of what you want, not what you don't want. Don't use the negative. Use your negative thing that brings something to you at the very least. Now, Frater Xavier talks about that. He says, if you're going to be afraid of anything, be afraid of success, because that emotion can still bring stuff to you, and he says that it's going to come to you the same way, with the same emotion you use, You're like, oh, fuck, I got all this fucking money, I'm so mad about having all this money. He says that the money's going to come to you through, someone maybe upset, or throwing it at you, or shooting a gold brick at your head or something like that, and knocking you out, but giving you, however that gold brick is worth. And, in my experience, she still ended up spending the money within a couple months, so maybe that was the backlash, since I didn't use a loving one, I used a fear emotion, but at the very least, it's better than adding a love emotion to your negative thoughts, or adding negative emotion to your negative thoughts, okay? As if your outcome is your thoughts, and the emotion is the mechanism to make that thought happen, well then you need to change the thought. If you can't change the emotion, change the thought, right? Because then it's the thought that is really the beginning point. Everything begins in the mind, right? So if you have a negative thought, if you will, I don't like saying positive or negative, because those are just directions to me, but if you have a bad thought in your head, then it doesn't matter if you use a bad or good emotion towards that, you're going to get that bad thought with either one of those. And likewise, if you have a good thought in your head, but you use a bad emotion, well, then you're still going to get that. It's kind of like using white magic and black magic, Black magic is used for the baneful magic. You can't really use white magic for baneful magic, which I don't think is true. I think you can word it around to make white magic do something that somebody doesn't want. You have to find something that isn't technically bad, but somebody thinks is bad, and give it to them. This person doesn't want to have kids, and you do some magic to make them have a kid or something like that. But just know when that's done happening, you're probably going to end up having a kid too, or having to adopt a kid or something like that. Point is, people think black magic is all bad magic, and it's not. But it can be used for that, and there's a better chance of black magic fucking up on you than white magic. And that's just to say, anything you're doing for the greater good is normally going to come back and bless you and uplift you, and at the very least, it's not going to have much of an effect on you if there's no effect at all. But bad magic, even if your bad magic doesn't go through because you had the intention of doing that, you can still get fucked with. And if you do manage to do it, you're still going to get fucked with after. So keep that in mind whenever you're in negative emotions. It's just another technique that, because not everybody's the same. Not everybody can just snap out of a negative emotion. And the other thing I want to say about the whole fear bullshit, and can't be in fear. There's only two emotions, and we all want to be in love, love, love. But fear is just as necessary as love. If you fucking love money more than you love what you do for money, well, then you should be afraid of being at that fucking job, and that fucking fear should motivate you to get the fuck out of there. And in that circumstance, the love would be the bad one, and the fear would be the good one, would it not? If you're scared to go 180 miles an hour, or 180 kilometers per hour, I don't know what that is in miles. I'm sure I can figure it out, but anyways, I know like 60 is 100 and shit like that. Here we're kilometers in Canada. If you're afraid of going 180 kilometers an hour on the highway, well, then there's less likely that you're going to fucking go around a corner and fucking lose control, or drive on black ice and flip, or hit a fucking transport or something, than the person who is afraid to do that. Now, that fear of going there, if they're not putting emotion into thinking, holy fuck, I'm so scared, I'm going so fast, I'm going to crash. Well, then, yeah, they might crash. It's a stupid thing to do. But if they just, no, I don't go 180. No, I got a fear going 180. There's nothing fucking wrong with that. All that is a limitation they put on themselves that's actually going to keep them safe. And there's nothing wrong with that. So fear is not bad per se. People want people to not be fearful at all and be all love and light, but you're going to get taken advantage of. Like my story I just told you. My wife is spending all this money. I didn't stick up for myself. We blew through that money in 2 months. Even the one time where I said, I'm not going to go to that job interview you did for me. It's not really sticking up for myself. You know what I mean? I took a little fucking baby petty fit and got all pissed off and stomped my feet around. And then she ended up apologizing, but that was it. And she still has a spending issue, just like I still have issues. I mean, we all do. And fear sometimes can help you get out of that. If someone puts enough fear into you that what you're doing is wrong and you're going to actually self-destruct, then isn't that fear a good thing? If you love your addiction, wouldn't that be a bad thing? So it's all about balance, and that's what I'm trying to create with these two channels, and that's what I'm trying to add with this channel per se, is to create a balance. I got a channel about magic, how to perform it, different things that could help you that maybe people haven't said. Maybe they have said, but it didn't click in right away and you forgot to go back and check it out. So I'm reminding you. Maybe I'm just giving you the sites for you to go check out, for you to do your magic on. Whatever the case is, if I help you in a small way or a huge way, that's awesome. That's what I want. But at the same time, I do want to provide, because it's easy for me to sit here and say, hey, I manifested this, try this, but everybody's situation is different. You may not be able to do that. You might not be in a position that you might not be able to buy the fucking, I buy a pack of black candles a week, which is, it's not much. I get 15 candles for $12. And they're big enough. They last, about 18 hours. They're big enough to carve on and all that. And then I spend, let's say another $50 on incense and candles in a week. So that's $60-some just on the candles and incense alone. And like I said, frankincense is very expensive. So maybe you're not able to do all that and you think your magic's going to fuck up and it's not going to work. Maybe you need other stuff, I started off by using the candles and all that, but now I come into an understanding that I don't even need to light a candle if I want to make something happen. I don't even need to, and I'm not claiming to be an adept, and I'm not claiming to have all the answers, and I'm not claiming to be a great magician. I'm just saying I've took things I've learned from these people I'm talking about in these books I read, and I put it in a way that I can understand. And whether it's hypnosis or just repeated affirmations, I get stuff into my subconscious all the fucking time. And pretty good in there, like to the point where it's working very well for me. So all I want to do is try to give an extra perspective on how to, integrate your mundane stuff. If you can't afford money and candles, well, try this, Do you have any wax lying around? I mean, it's pretty easy to make a candle, make a wick. Now, that took me a while to get wicks to work right, which is the shit I had lying around at home, but I can make a candle that can last for about 8 hours with just old wax and fucking string. You know what I mean? And, it took me a long time to figure that out. So if there's something you're interested in, then yeah, I'm going to make a video about, or I'll make a recording about that. I may have to integrate it on YouTube so you can actually see the steps. And I'll only know after I make the recording if it's too hard to actually paint a picture with just words. But I do have a YouTube channel, and it's under the name Corey LeBlanc. If anybody wants to check it out, there's not much on there. All the Spreaker ceremonial witchcraft episodes are on there. Obviously, they're just recordings. There's a few videos on there. Not much content about anything. One's just me walking around my yard showing people the house and the 2 cars. I got a couple of my kids on there just talking about some random crap. But yeah, I also have a website, but the same thing. There's not much on there. Pictures of the books and a few videos and whatnot. So most of my stuff is going to be done on a Spreaker, and I like that because I don't have the camera distracting me, looking at myself, thinking I look like an idiot, on top of thinking I sound like an idiot. So that's something I may do, but that's the flavor, that's the coloring, that's the perception I want to add with this second show is for the conscious mind. How to use your conscious mind to talk with your family, because like I said, I've been fighting with my wife for a while, for the last couple of weeks, and something happened 2 weeks ago that neither one of us even remember that started the fight, but we never dealt with it. We both put it under the rug because, I've been preaching at her for so long to not be negative and not think about bad things because they can happen. And to be honest, I've been kind of doing affirmations for her to the point that it's pretty much sunk in her head. And it's good and bad because now she's, instead of dealing with things right off the hop, she's trying to push it away because it's probably more likely she doesn't want to hear me bitch saying, you shouldn't do that, which is not fair to her. And, at least I know I'm doing that and I'm working on correcting it. But the point is, we were angry, and every little thing we did after that, didn't matter what it was, we would just get mad at each other and bring up every other bad thing we've done, and get mad at it and freak out at each other over these little fucking things because of the big thing that we never dealt with. And then 2 days ago on Monday, we had a huge blowout. I was going to go drive around. I told her I was going to go do drugs, which I wasn't going to, but I know it would get under her skin, which is not fucking nice at all. And, and then she said a few things that pissed me off, and to the point where I was like, fuck, what are we doing, babe? Like, what's happening to us? And then, we dealt with it. And now, and that night we had a great night. We had the makeup sex, and then we had sex the next morning, and then we had sex again last night. Not to get too TMI with you guys and shit like that there, but I've already had one episode that was probably TMI. But if you want to check that one out, it's one of my episodes on Spreaker, Ceremonial Witchcraft. How I stretched her and shit like that. But anyways, but yeah, I'm so glad we did. We're at a better spot. I do a tarot card a day, right? I don't know as much about tarot as I do astrology, and that's not saying much because I'm still learning both those things. That's like my side projects. And I do a tarot card a day, and I study it, and I write down what I think it means and shit like that. And then I look up on YouTube the same way I do my astrology, what other people say. And I kind of compare how I get close to it and all that. But when I do the tarot card, I don't just draw it. I ask my deities, my spirits, my other planetary day of the week, whoever it is. Mercury, what do you want me to know today? What do I need to know? What do I need to work on? I'll give a specific question. And I didn't do a tarot card 2 days in a row. So I pulled 2 tarot cards for the Sunday and the Monday, right? And I got the Ace of Wands, and then I got the Star card. And the things I got were so fitting for my situation with my wife. It was unbelievable. But the point of the story was, had I not tried to bury my feelings, had my wife tried not to bury her feelings and stay positive and pretend happy, instead of dealing with, the fear and the anger and the jealousy and the hate that we were facing and having for each other, if we would have just dealt with what bugged us at the time, yes, it would have had an uncomfortable moment, but we wouldn't have had 2 weeks of fucking being shit on and being so frustrated and thinking like our marriage is going to crap and all this. And people can hang on to some petty fucking things. We all can. That's not a judgment. That's coming from experience. Like, I can hang on to some stupid shit for no reason that after the fact is like, oh man, why did I ever hang on to that? But prior to that, it's like you can't even see, right? You can't even think about, to go from, I don't think I'm ever going to get along with her again, to, fuck, I love her, I can't believe we ever fought in the first place. It's phenomenally, unbelievably, I don't even know the word for it. Like, it seems so unlikely and impossible, and I don't even know. Like I said, I got no words for it. But that's how it is. That's how it is, and that fear and that anger was there for a reason. There was an issue we needed to deal with. We needed to evolve. Our relationship was pretty great in the beginning. We never fought. And then, I did some bad shit, and then we started fighting, but then we got through it, and then we were great again. And now this is happening. Every so often it happens. I'm 33 now. My Saturn return is kind of, coming back around. 34, I think. You have to do 28. No, 28's the last time. But anyways, well, she just turned 30. But anyways, point is, I have Saturn in the marriage house too. I've already said that before too. But you got to deal with your emotions. It doesn't matter if they're positive or negative. And yeah, when you're happy, it's easy to stay happy and be happy, and it's easy to, somebody doing something dumb or mean to you, you can kind of look the other way and say, forgive the Father, they know not what they do. When you're in a bad place, and whenever someone goes too far, or whatever the case is, it's very hard to get in that good place, and it's not necessarily good either. It's not necessarily a good thing to just fucking go to that happy place and do that and just pretend like nothing bad happened. You don't want to be a fucking a format, and you don't want to be a fucking fake fucking looking like you're on fucking Prozac person or going on antidepressants because you have to deal with this shit. But anyways, that was the intro to this. Deal with your feelings. It doesn't matter if it's fear. Fear is a necessary emotion. You don't want to be in fear most of your life or anything like that. You don't want to be in those anger. But they do come around for a reason to teach you something most likely. So don't give in to them. Deal with them. And, you got to be in a shitty mood to get in that good mood, right? You got to have night so you can enjoy the day. You got to have the cold weather, enjoy the hot weather. It's all polarity. And that's what this channel is going to be. It's going to be the polarity of our minds. Ceremonial witchcraft is going to be the unconscious, subconscious, and the magic on a budget is going to be the conscious mind. Anyways, hope everybody enjoyed. Have a great day. Just before I go, I wanted to specify a couple things. I talked about losing the house, and then talked about only manifesting the house in the summer, which is true. So just before anybody calls me a liar or anything like that, we were renting to own for 3 years when we got this house. How that worked was we paid $1,200 a month, and $200 went towards a down payment. After the 3 years, we didn't have enough for a mortgage. And then, so she decided she would, the landlord girl, who, she wasn't a friend, but she became a friend, she decided she would postpone and allow us to re-sign for another 2 more years. At that time, she would lock in the price at $160,000, which she did. And during those last 2 years, I went bankrupt first, and she went bankrupt second. And so that's why my wife is doing renovations. It was another reason why she decided she didn't want to do the renovations anymore, because in case that slight chance we lose the house, doing renovations for somebody else is kind of stupid, because that was also in the contract that we forfeit all the down deposit. We don't get it back if we can't buy the house. So it was pretty cool that my manifestation came through. We didn't lose that money. But yeah, anyways, have a great night, guys. I'll see you on Ceremonial Witchcraft probably tomorrow night. It'll be the next show. Have a great one.